That we're going to bring up tonight. I could not be more thrilled to have him here. For those of you that are here tonight that are probably between the ages of 10 and 14, the way that you look at Mike Trout right now is the way that I looked at this gentleman when I was your age. He was the 1979 American League MVP. That year he had 296 for 36 home runs and 139 RBIs. In 1995, he was the National League Manager of the Year for the Colorado Rockies. He is number 4 all-time in Major League Baseball on the hit by a pitch list. His career high in that category was 35, which happened in 1986, but we're not going to talk about that here while he's here, or ever again. He's a member of the Angels Baseball Hall of Fame. They call him Groove. He is Don Baylor.
Thank you so much for being here. When they said Angels in Phoenix country, it kind of surprised me a little bit. I expect this in Anaheim, but it's a great honor to be here. I guess back in the day when I first signed with the Angels, I was the first free agent that came to Anaheim along with Joe Rudy and Bob Rich. The three of us came to Anaheim, thought we were going to turn around the organization. I believe that it definitely started to turn around an organization. It was the Oakland A's. I had come from the Oakland A's where the A's had won 73, 74, 75, I believe. And just come to the Angels and have this opportunity to be an owner. Players today, that's probably what Artie Moreno is today. That's how Gene was. Just a spectacular owner that loved his players. Went out and dipped into the free agent market. He brought the three of us in, and he brought in Freddie Lynn and the trade and things. We became Rod Carew, came over. The 79 Angels was just a special group of guys. President Obama stole our "Yes we can," because yes we could, because we definitely scored a lot of runs. We just had a camaraderie with each other. Some great players came out of that 79 team where we just had a lot of fun. Jim Figosi was our manager. Rod Carew was such an outstanding player. He was our leadoff hitter. So I hit fourth on that team where Danny Ford hit third on that team. Rich drove it 100, I drove it 100, and Danny Ford drove it 100 also. So we scored a lot of runs. We gave up some, but we scored a lot of runs. But we had just a great bunch of guys. The support that we had in Anaheim was just off the charts, really. Every night you go to the ballpark, look forward to winning every night. It was just like I said, a special group of guys, great club. So we just put it all together. I don't think we knew how to win in the playoffs. We went into Baltimore, got beat by a pretty good Oriole team. won one ball game, but that's just the way we started out and finished in '79. 80 was just not such a great year. 81 was a 50-day strike that I like to kind of forget, but 1982, we were right back in the playoffs again. We had a chance to go to the World Series there. That's when it was the best of 5, and we won against Milwaukee, and they beat us 3 straight in Milwaukee. So I'm still looking for that Angel World Series ring, really. That's I'm jealous of a lot of people that were on that team that won 10 beat. I'm jealous of, that he got that ring. But last year was a very exciting year. We won 98 ball games. You expect to be a part of the World Series team, but that's just the way baseball goes sometimes. Some teams that are hot at the right time. Kansas City was a team at that moment, during that one particular week, they were as good as anybody in the game. So, but we're right back at it. Mike Socha, we're pushing to win again this year, and that's the mentality of the Angels. It's come a long ways over the years. You expect to win, not to be the doormat of the American League West anymore. We expect to win. So that's where we're going to be again this year. We're going to be knocking at the door again. We really thank you for your support. I just never knew this organization was around, but I'm glad it is. I'm a diehard Angel at heart anyway, so even though I signed somewhere else, I always wanted to come back here, and I'm back here, so I want to make the most of it. So I want to be a part of the winning team again. So thank you. But I'll take some questions if anybody.
All right. So at Angels Brand, we consider ourselves to be the voice of the fan. And when you guys were coming in today, we asked people if they'd like to ask questions of Don. So many of you wrote down questions, and I'm going to read some of them tonight and also be sensitive to your time. So one that actually most people asked as they put in here is, how are you feeling and how's the leg?
I'm feeling great. The leg's fine, but I'm not going to catch any more first pitches. Not for a while. I might throw a few, but I'm not catching it.
All right. This one is from Riley, who is age 11. Riley, are you out there? Want to raise your hand? There he is. All right. Riley wants to know, what is the most common thing Angels hitters need to work on today?
Just about being consistent. So when we get 2 strikes, I always like to fight the pitcher to the end of the at-bat, not to give away at-bats. That's kind of what we preach every day. It's just have a good 2-strike approach every single day, battle, and that's kind of what we're about.
Thank you, Riley. This one is from Greg B. Greg, you out there? There's Greg. Greg would like to know, what is the most important quality that you look for in a prospect that comes up to the big club for the first time that tells you that he is more likely than not to be successful?
About being successful at the major league level is it's tough to get there. The toughest thing is how long you can stay there. That's the main thing. I know in the minor leagues, I had to go through every level of minor league, A-ball, AA, AAA. Once I had to go back to AAA one more time. I was a minor league player of the year. I had to go back to AAA and play again. How I really got my name, the groove, was Frank Robinson was the player, and I was a young player in spring training. Kind of like Sherm out here, and one of those young players popping off, he said, how are you going to break into this outfield? I know Sherm, we all have the same desires of playing the big leagues. And so a writer asked me how I was going to break in with Paul Blair was in center field, Don Buford, Merv Redland, and Frank Robinson. I said, once I get into the groove, it really doesn't matter who is out there, So Frank was the head of the King of Report at the time, and so the next day, I was probably 19 years old and 20 years old, my first spring training. And so he takes a newspaper article and he reads the entire newspaper article to guys like Brooks Robinson, Dave McNally, Jim Palmer, and all. So that's how the groove was first started. So I just kind of lived with it, but you have to have a little edge to you, when you're a young player, because you want to play in the big leagues.
All right. This one is from Angel. Angel, you want to raise your hand? All right. Well, Angel would like to know about your mentor. Who was your mentor, and what did they teach you?
The toughness part that I learned from Frank Robinson. I was a young player at Baltimore. My locker mate for 6 years was Brooks Robinson. Taught me how to handle things kind of on and off the field. Just one of the best human beings and great player that I played with.
No name on this question. They would like to know, from your history of being a coach, being a player, just your history in baseball, what is your most memorable moment?
Most memorable moment, 87 World Series, the Twins hitting a home run in that game. And it's like, when you're a kid playing in the backyard, you always want to play in the World Series. My mom and dad were there, my son, my wife to be. So I hit a home run, but to this day, I don't know if I stepped on first, second, third, or all. Just the exhilaration that you have being a part of the World Series and hitting a home run. So that was probably the most memorable.
This one is from Esther. Esther, you on there? Okay. Esther wants to know, what has been the biggest change that you have made as the hitting coach on how players approach hitting? And is it different for every player?
The biggest change that I've noticed over the years, the facilities that these guys have, the video and things. I mean, we didn't have the video and some of the workout facilities. I know Bob Rich and I played together from rookie ball all the way to the big leagues. If he hit in front of me, he would watch certain things, and if I hit in front of him, I would watch certain things. So we were each other's hitting coaches a lot of times. So that's kind of what we did.
All right, we have one more. We want to be sensitive to your time. This is from Francisco. Francisco, you out there? Back there on that table. What do you think will be the key for the Angels for success this season?
Well, it's just about everybody that is at the major league level. It's about pitching. You have to pitch, and you have to catch it, and you have to hit it. So pitching has always been just the ultimate. When you get into the playoffs, World Series, it becomes about pitching. It's not about the offense where you just drive in 15 runs a game. It's comes down to pitching. And, that's what the Angels are. I mean, they've always had great pitchers over the years.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me thank Don Baylor for coming. All right, how about that? That's a good way to get started, huh? All right, well, this is the thing that was supposed to lead off tonight, besides me jumbling through Remembering Joe. So I'm going to do it right now. We have 3 special guests here tonight that we'd like to welcome from the Angels minor league system. First, Alex Yarbrough. Last year, Alex played for the Arkansas Travelers, where he hit .285 with 77 RBIs, 5 home runs, and a .981 fielding percentage. Sherman Johnson. Some of you may have watched him play last year for the 66ers. I know a lot of our fans love to go out to those games because they're local. All right. Last year he hit .276 with 78 RBIs, 17 home runs, and a .991 fielding percentage at second base. And finally, we have Jordan Miche, the pride of Greeley, Colorado. So, funny story, I linked up with Jordan from the youth pastor at our church. Jordan came out to speak with the kids that he coaches baseball at the local high school, and he called me when he got home and said, "Hey, we got this guy that came out and talked to us today. He's in the Angels organization. You should hook up with him." And I sent him a tweet that night and asked if he'd like to come out today, and he accepted. We're thrilled that he's here. Last year in the Arizona League, he pitched 11 innings over 8 games, where he had a 0.97 ERA with 11 Ks and versus only 2 bases on balls. So. All right, this is the lull of the action where we let you enjoy your food. So please do that, and we'll keep the evening going as more guests come.